This is what I mean. You know, after you test it out, you might want to ratchet the straps a little more. Possibly with me in it. Whee! So we're big fans of hammocks here at Terradrift. I've got one set up in my backyard pretty much all the time, as long as it's over 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I take one with me when I go camping. I bring one on every single road trip. Hey, if I'm going to a park just to hang out for more than about 35 minutes, I'm gonna take one with me there too. But you know, hammocks are best for single individuals. So we wanted to test out a hammock designed for, well, more. Specifically, 3 people. Yep, we have this Tentsile 3-person giant Trillium hammock. And we're gonna set it up here at the park and see if it's all it's cracked up to be. All that space to just spread out and lounge while we're just chilling at the park or the campground. So let's set it up, shall we? Right off the bat, I'm thinking this thing is missing a handle. Seems like a design flaw. It could use a handle, is all I'm saying. It's like 17, 18 pounds. It's a little bit unwieldy. First of all, we got our maximum load warning there. 400 kilograms, 880 pounds. Don't put more than 880 pounds on this thing, I guess. So we have our protective tree wraps here in this bag. We have our ratchet straps here. I can tell because they weigh a ton. And then we've got our giant hammock and some little extra hardware-y bits, you know, just in case we were to lose and or break any. Couple little water gates for the rain and extra clippy bits and zipper pulls and stuff. First thing I'm actually just gonna do is unclip this and just roll it out because I've never set up one quite this big before. We have the 2-person Connect tree tent, which is actually really comfortable and we really like, and we will link to our review of that in the description. So I know how big that is. Not sure how big the 3-person hammock is. So I'm just gonna spread it out and see how it fits in between these trees first. And reminder, it is a triangle, so you do need 3 trees. That's how it's gonna lay, like completely flat, essentially. Found them, these 3. So first thing we're gonna do is protect the tree because there could potentially be a lot of weight on this. So we just want to protect the tree bark from any damage that the ratchet straps might do. They are pretty thick, so these aren't entirely necessary, but better safe than sorry, and we do want to protect our tree friends. I'm gonna put them approximately chest height. Tree wrap. We're gonna do that on all the trees. And then we have 3 ratchet straps as well. So we're going to go ahead and put those on too. Okay, so we're gonna slide the ratcheting bit through first. And make sure it's gonna ratchet upward instead of down because I think that's gonna be easier. Doot doot, there we go. We'll put one of those on all 3 corners. And these straps are pretty long, so I'm thinking at least probably 20 feet. We'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. But that does mean there's plenty of wiggle room when it comes to the spacing of your trees. Your trees can be a little farther apart because there's so much slack in these straps. Just wrap it around, hug a tree, do one of these. Go, pull that pretty tight, and then we are going to thread the ratchet strap like so. And we're not gonna pull this too tight yet because we still have 2 other sides. We're gonna go do those first and then we'll get this cinched nice and tight. So here's the problem with a triangular shaped hammock or tree tent is that the trees have to be pretty perfectly spaced apart. I'm not talking just about distance from one tree to another. I'm talking about the angles themselves, because as you can see, we've tightened this, and we got one real floppy side here, which means this strap probably needs attached to that tree right over there. So we're gonna move it to that tree over there and see if that works. So I think that's about as close as we're gonna get for this one. Meaning if there were actually 3 of us, one person might be a little floppier than others, but frankly, it's quite difficult in the wild to find 3 trees that make a perfect equilateral triangle where all the sides are the same. Now, with the 2-person tree tent that we've tested from Tentsile, it's not quite as important because you have a narrower tail because there are only 2 people and a wider head. So finding that combination of trees hasn't proved quite as tricky, but the 3 making an equilateral is proving difficult. But Tentsile does on their website have some walkthrough videos to help you deal with tricky setup situations. So you can watch some of those and try to figure out, like what to do if you can't find that perfect tree setup. But I say we test it out. I'm really glad that that helped me. This is what I mean. It dips. So, after you test it out, you might want to ratchet the straps a little more. Possibly with me in it. Whee! Oh my goodness. Ta-da! I might even like to cowboy camp in this thing with the shiny new REI Zephyr size inclusive sleeping bags we'll be reviewing soon. So subscribe so you don't miss that. Woo! Ooh. So as you can see, it's bouncy, but because of how it's constructed, unlike a traditional hammock or another lay flat style hammock, you kind of stay in your own sections because the edges and then the sort of seams here in the triangular bit are firm thanks to some really dense webbing. So you kind of stay put in your little area. And as you can see, we didn't get the angle quite right because Josh is almost on the ground.
This side is a little sinky.
That side is a little sinky. It's quite bouncy, which makes it kind of fun.
It was very bouncy.
It's so bouncy. There are quite a few accessories and things on this starting here. So here you can put a sort of bug net or tent topper on this, and the poles would go here, so you can add on that accessory. Down here, you can tighten or loosen the webbing if you'd like more or less separation between the 3 sort of sections. Obviously here you have a gear loft and they're removable, and there's one on each corner, so everybody gets their own. If you want a place to store like your backpack or an extra pillow or some books or an unopened can of kombucha, I don't know, whatever. Up top there's Velcro for attaching more accessories, plus some little loops if you want to clip more stuff on top. And then in the center here, it actually opens on 2 sides so that you can kind of accommodate building stacks of these in the trees if you want, or just open it up and like keep a cooler on a stump right underneath so you can just whoosh, reach right down in there and grab that kombucha. Honestly, pretty comfortable. I like that they plant 20 trees for every product they sell. I can see lounging in this at the park, during a cookout, bringing it to a campsite if I'm going to stay a couple days. Am I going to put this up for like one night of camping in addition to my tent? Probably not. It's a little setup intensive. I mean, it only took, what, like 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that bad. I'm just lazy. So, but I would totally bring this if I were going to especially go camping with some friends. It provides a really nice place to sit and lounge and hang out and not roll into each other. which is ideal. Because frankly, even my closest friends, I don't really want to be sitting on top of them when we're camping or cooking out or having a picnic or something. But heck yes. Also, I think you'd probably make friends if you put this up in a park or a campground, because look at it. It's cool. Pretty versatile piece of equipment, honestly. Not too shabby. I mean, it's not the cheapest hammock you're gonna buy, but pretty fun. And honestly, if you've got kids, fair warning, this is gonna be the new favorite toy. That's not fair. I think it's gonna be the new favorite toy with adults also. It might be my new favorite toy. We'll see. If you like this video, you should definitely check out our review of the 2-person Tentsile Connect and the Tentsile 1-person Una camping and backpacking tree tent, because I think you're gonna like those. We'll link to them below. Look at it. It's cool.